History's made once again in Williams Stadium. The 2023 Conference USA champions, the Liberty Flames.
That was last year.
Because you're starting at the bottom. No matter what people say about you, you're at the bottom.
But it ain't this year.
We're 0-1 in 2024, and that's our mindset. We're 0-1, and we have a lot to earn. Everything that we're getting right now is all based off of what happened last year.
It's time to turn the page and write our story again.
9 weeks of summer. You guys put in unbelievable work.
And that story that we write is in our control.
Football can't be who you are. It's got to be what you do.
Together, as one, we're pursuing a common standard.
Our standard. We don't drop it based off of circumstances. Discipline is a lifestyle. You got to do everything the right way as hard as you can do it.
Because we know greatness isn't just given, it's earned.
This is us versus us, all right? It's not about that team out there. It's about everybody in here.
We chase that standard.
Hold each other accountable.
Through every drop of sweat.
Get behind them and push them. That's what the whole thing's about.
Every rep.
Don't fear suffering, fella, because the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire.
Every drill.
Being undisciplined. That will get us beat.
And every ounce of energy spent.
That connectivity with your teammates, that wins championships.
We are so here right now. Hey there, friends. Welcome to Flames Central Game Day, brought to you by Earthright Mid-Atlantic, solar and energy efficiency. Well, the time is here. Week 1.
Let's
Liberty
go.
Flames at home. Welcome to the mountain. Excited to get going. Rhett McGibbon here alongside Pat Kelly, Walter Virgil Jr. Guys, last season, 2023, historic year for the Flames. New Year's 6 game. Everything went right for LU, and they did not only take a step forward, it was like leaps and bounds. You could call them Superman if you wanted to in the year that it was. But has it put unrealistic expectations on the Flames? Is the Flames gotten to that point as a program where you're saying, hey, it's like a perfect season or bust?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is where the program has arrived to. If you like it or not, we've done it to Alabama and other bigger programs. It's like, hold back. Liberty can't do that yet, but that's exactly where they are in the group of 5 space. They're already being written in, and so they have to show up and they have to perform big this year.
Listen, Walter, I love it. I'm going to push back on you a little bit. I don't think it's perfect season or bust. Yes, Liberty returned 7 of 11 offensive starters. They returned 8 of 11 defensive starters. But where I say timeout is winning is hard, guys. It is super hard.
Of course it is.
Liberty had 3 or 4 games last year come down to the last couple minutes, in one instance to the last play. Everything bounced their way last season, so historic season, but I think perfect season or bust, I think that's a little bit extreme.
What is the bust, though, in your mind then? If it's not perfect season, what would a bust be?
Good question.
I think this team has to win Conference USA Championship.
Okay.
They're the favorite coming into the year. They're returning a ton of talent. They're returning the #1 rushing offense in the country, #1 in interceptions. Like, this is a very talented team. Got to win Conference USA. I just don't think undefeated season.
Are people going to be disappointed, though, if this is a team that does not make the CFP? Like, I saw Nick Saban. He wrote it down, number 12.
I saw it too.
If Nick Saban's getting on the bandwagon, everybody else is as well, and they are going to be disappointed if you're not obeying what old Nick says.
No, and the thing is, and I think to that point exactly, last year we had a perfect season and we barely made it in. We needed Tulane to take an L in order for us to be considered. Right. And so if that be the case for last year, I think that because talent is going to the next level in the group of 5 space, that Liberty University is going to have to come out almost perfect in order to be considered.
Yeah, reports are SMU still not over not making it into the CFP. Hey, speaking of the CFP, there is a realistic option. 12 teams going into it this year. Exciting times. As you can see there, top G5 team will make it in. However, like, Liberty's not the only one dancing in this territory. There's probably 5 teams out there that have a realistic pathway to the CFP when it comes to G5 teams.
Yeah, they certainly do. Liberty's got the schedule, I think, to get them in this year. You've got games against Eastern Carolina. You play App State, which I think that's going to be a playoff make or break for the Liberty Flames or for App State in general. Definitely. That's going to be a big one for them to win. But, yeah, there's tremendously talented teams between Boise State, Memphis. You saw Coastal lay a hurting on Jacksonville State the other night. There's a lot of G5 potential out there.
App State, Tulane, UNLV, I think can all be in the mix as well.
Seriously. And that's the reason why Liberty University, granted, has to take it one game at a time, but they're going to have to come out of this thing almost perfect in order to be considered if they want to make their way into the big dance.
I got you. All right, time to move on now to our Century Exterior Scouting Report. These Campbell Camels, we take a look at them from last year. I know it's a new coaching staff, but a lot of things change. When you look at last year, their starting quarterback, he's gone. He's at UNLV. That's Malik Williams. They averaged just under 30 points per game. This is the stat, though, that worries me for them today. Teams ran an average of 174 yards against them.
Yeah, that is not a recipe for success. That's where you're hoping that your defensive coordinator, Eric Daniels, can come in, turn some things around. I do think they've got the right guy for the job in Coach Harris. Last year at Houston Christian, he took a team that had gone 0-11 and 2-9 in the 2 previous seasons, went 6-5 last year. I think he can get them turned around. They don't necessarily have a whole lot of depth, though.
No, at the end of the day, yeah, you got some different coaches in there, but a lot of these guys on the defensive side, they're still the same guys. And so for that reason, I really don't see a whole bunch shifting. They can't give anywhere close to 170 to Liberty University because they're going to take it and run with it, literally, and it's going to be a long day for them.
We turn our attention to the Flames now. A lot of people saying, you kind of read the tea leaves, if you will, that this is a more talented Liberty team than it was a year ago. And not impossible. Obviously, Liberty is going to continue to bring in more talented players, the better that you do. What do you expect from them, though, in week 1? I know we can look big picture. We already did. But week 1 today, what are your hopes?
The hopes is that they just keep it simple. I think that as they match up man-to-man with every individual that they have, they're going to be stronger, bigger, faster, and for that reason, if they just stay focused and keep it simple, they're going to be able to get exactly what they need to get, and that's a win.
If I'm a coach, I think we want our team to look sharp. You want to execute your base plays. You don't want to have any muffed punts, any messed up exchanges in terms of handing the ball off. That's going to be important for this Liberty team as they come into today. Do your base stuff, and then also get out of this game healthy. That's probably most important.
Definitely.
Yeah, priority number 1. You look at here at some national stats from a year ago. Interceptions a big thing. 21 led the nation in that category. I want to talk about the run game, though. You look at those numbers. Number 1 in the FBS when it came to rushing yards per game. You see the other numbers there. Is this an offensive line with all the new bodies, and there's been some injuries already, that can replicate those numbers?
I certainly think it is, and that's because, one, they have talented personnel, they've got some depth, but also because Coach Durkin on the offensive line really coaches these guys up. Last year he showed what he can do. Another year with this staff, I think that this team really can be potent. I won't necessarily say 300 yards per game just yet, but I certainly think they can be explosive.
All right, we've got an exciting guest joining us now. Thrilled to be joined by 2005 NFL MVP Shaun Alexander.
Let's go.
Glad to have you here.
My brothers, how y'all doing?
Good.
This is great atmosphere. Game 1, I'm ready to go.
My first question is, I've had people texting me that I don't even know. Do you have a bat signal in Lynchburg or something when you're in town saying, hey, how is Shaun Alexander on your show today? But glad to have you here. Why are you in Lynchburg? I'm sure people are wondering.
It's really exciting to be here, first of all. But my oldest daughter goes here.
Awesome.
She'll be a junior this year. My second oldest runs on the track team, and my third oldest, I had 3 girls right out the gate, and so she is actually on her official visit today. She might be running cross country and track for the Liberty Flames, so it's pretty exciting to be here.
Yeah.
Hey, Shaun, let's have just a conversation real fast. I want to take us back to 1996.
I was a young buck, a freshman.
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at nighttime. There was a particular game against my LSU Tigers. You, of course, with Alabama. 20 carries, I think, 291 yards and 4 touchdowns.
You're very specific.
Not that I'm harboring any bitterness at
I think
all.
he's traumatized.
Yeah.
That gave him night before everybody knew what night was.
Yeah.
Get that night medicine.
But you guys put on an absolute onslaught in terms of offense. As it relates to how the game has evolved over the last 10, 15 years, going from I backfield, power, ISO, things like that, to what offenses are now, what do you see as the biggest change?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing is they let me do this in Seattle and in Alabama is swinging the back out the backfield. And so running backs don't just come in and just pound it. So, like, you know, if you took when I was watching football in the 80s and the 90s, it was who's the best athlete, get in the best shape, you know, give him 30 carries, your team's going to win, to now the quarterback has to think, the coaches are thinking, you got signs and headphones and everything going on, and they're all trying to isolate everybody. So everybody's trying to play this chess move about how can I get my best guy one-on-one with somebody. I think I'd have had a lot of fun because I would have been able to swing out of the backfield and catch the ball and make some plays that way. So it would have been fun.
Listen, so you're here, really important time of the year for you. Tell us about the Shaun Alexander Award.
Yeah, so about 7 years ago, I was asked by the Football Writers Association to help pick the National Freshman All-American team. And then after the year was over, they said, hey, we're thinking about naming the award after somebody. Somebody who's still young enough that kids could remember and had a great career in college and in the pros. I said, yeah, let me think about who that is. And so I went away, and they're like, wait, Shaun, come back in. We were talking about you. So they named the award after me, and it's been great. We put it around talent. We should turn that film on, you watch them play. We put it around character. About being an ambassador for your university, and the last we call a legend. And the NFL says once a player, forever a legend. And so we just think that they have NFL talent. So we, around my birthday, August 30th, we always pick the Hot 37. It's the 37 watch list for the best freshmen that we think are coming here. And we've picked some great winners the last 6 years. Two guys were the number 3 pick overall. One guy was number 1 overall. Trevor Lawrence, that was our first winner. Caleb Downs won it last year from Alabama. Now he's at Ohio State. We have picked some great kids. It's been great to grow these relationships with these young men and hope that they can become quality men on and off the field. And that's what we're all about.
You want to tease us with any names this year?
Nah.
No? Okay.
I can't do that. I got to play the role of I love everybody.
Right. Before we let you go, when you look at this Liberty offense in the run game as a staple of it, what is your take on this running unit for LU?
You know, I was really pleasantly surprised last year. You know, they let the quarterback get loose. He could run and throw, and they had a big running back. He scored all them touchdowns.
Quentin Cooley.
Yeah. I think he's a great running back. I think he stays in this game, gets his pads and leverage low, and makes some plays. I think, like, if he plays the way he did last year and they get some guys, you know, some receivers that make some plays. If he plays low leverage, big touchdowns, I think that we're going to go undefeated again. I know you've already said that. I know you're scared of that, but we can't be scared of that, Liberty.
Right.
Can't be scared of that.
Did you hear him? We.
Yeah, that's right. I like it. As soon as your kids go to a place, it has to turn into we, right?
It does. Yes. It does. I'm a Liberty dad. I'm a Liberty dad.
Well, Shaun, thanks for the time. Great to see you, and glad you're on campus.
Excellent, and go Flames.
All right. Well, time to take a look now at our Carr Miller Realty Field Pass. Joining us on field, Quentin Reese, safety for the Flames. Quentin, great to have you on, sir. A new year. Hard to believe you're a veteran on this team. When you look at your group, 21 picks a year ago, and I know you've lost some bodies in the Liberty secondary, but is this secondary this season as talented as it was in 2023?
I think we're way more talented as a team, not even just the secondary, as a team.
Hey, Quentin, Pat Kelly, I'm not sure if you can still hear us here, but piggybacking off of what Rhett was just saying, in 2023, you guys were historic. What do you and this defense need to do moving forward to take it to the next level?
Continue to just play snap back, attack the football. All days attack the football. I think doing that as a whole, and put us in a good position going throughout the year.
Awesome. Hey, Quentin, this is Walter Virgil here, man. How you holding up?
Yes, sir. We ready, man. We ready to get after it.
All right, listen, I want to know, who are the 2 guys on your side of the ball that you're really excited about that many of our fans aren't really aware of yet?
Well, that's a good one. I like Taylor Jackson. That's a real good dog right there. And just the whole D-line. I think they're not ready to see what we're going to bring at the D-line level.
Awesome. Well, Quentin, thank you for your time. Best of luck today.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You too.
All right, that was Quentin Cooley, veteran on the back end. You know, one area I kind of wanted to get into with him is that when you look, we talk about there is some, you know, turnover in the secondary for the Flames this year. How important is a guy like Quentin going to be this season just as a leadership anchor?
I think it's huge. You know, first of all, you lose Preston Hodge going to Colorado with Coach Prime now. Kobe Singleton. I mean, between those two guys, you lose 6 interceptions. You lose a lot of experience.
Right.
So it's important, yes, to have guys on the field that have played, but the communication piece is what's really important. You've got to be able to have those corners talking to safeties, safeties talking to corners, passing guys off. The communication piece will be what's going to make or break this secondary.
And the thing is, to have a guy like that at the center of it all, you're a young guy, you hear a play, you see a rotation, and you kind of freeze up. But for you to look towards the center and to be able to see a guy like that that's able to give you the adjustment and you can be confident that you're right where you need to be about to do the right thing is priceless, man.
I think Bryland Green also be a big member of this, but a name not many Flames fans know yet. Alexander Oliver, transfer from VMI. He's a 3-year guy there, and now he's coming in here senior season, FBS level with Liberty. I think that can be a big help to this group. A guy that's played a lot of snaps to just jump in and be a backup for you.
That's a great name that you bring up. You know, he's played almost, I think, 30 games. You've got another name in Dominic Hill, transferring from Temple.
Yes.
He had 10 starts last year. He's got some games under his belt. So not only are you getting guys that are talented, but you're getting guys that have experience when the bullets are flying around. That's going to be huge for the secondary.
No, and we're just excited. I'm excited to see that D-line, as Reese just alluded to, really come up and just really prove that they can really go after it and that they have some depth to be able to continue to push, and do a great job.
An area that we haven't really, and weren't planning to get to this week, but let's talk about it just for a moment. That's the linebacker position. You know, an area that I would say there's a lack of depth a year ago. You move to this season, and you've got some bodies. He mentioned one earlier, Jackson coming in from ECU, is expected to play a lot for Liberty, but you've heard Coach Chadwell through the preseason say, I really believe there's 5 or 6 guys that can see the field, you know, any given week.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I would say is to give a couple guys their flowers that played last year. You had Tyron Dupree, who had 124 tackles. Yeah. You had Brandon Bishop, who had 65. Those are massive voids to fill. So in terms of a guy that's going to step up and make some plays, you've got Joe Carter, who's going to be wearing that green dot on his helmet, so he's going to have that microphone coming in. He's a guy that I want to watch, and he's going to be one that really has to step up for this Flames defense.
No, I like Joe Carter as well. He's actually one of my young guys. I was really proud of him to see how he went through his red shirt year and to see how he got rewarded with a scholarship. And so to see a guy like that not just make the team, but now find himself really at the nucleus of the defense with the green dot on his head really says a lot about the quality of this kid.
All right, continuing on with our field pass, we now go back down to field level with Isaiah Green of Campbell. Isaiah, thanks for taking the time to join us here.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
A day like today, first game of the season, what is the focus for your secondary today?
Right now, we just coming out, trusting our assignments, trusting our techniques, and being aggressive, man. We're killing anything deep, giving up no explosives. We've just been focusing on that all week and coming out and being technique sound today.
Isaiah, this is Pat Kelly here. Coach Harris and Coach Daniels talked about how you guys played a lot of man-to-man coverage throughout camp, said that you guys did a tremendous job. You know, as it relates to coming out here today, are you looking forward to playing some man-to-man coverage, or do you prefer kind of dropping back into the zone and coming up and rocking somebody?
Man, we're going to do whatever it takes to stop these guys, man. I pride myself on being a man-to-man corner. I pride myself in this whole secondary, really. We pride ourselves on being able to shut guys out man-to-man. So we're going to sprinkle in some zone, we're going to sprinkle in some man, but just trust whatever we do, it's going to be, yes, sir. Whatever we do is going to work, and we're going to be effective at it.
All right, Mr. Green, this is Walter Virgil here. How you holding up?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you.
Hey, listen, for a lot of us that aren't familiar about some of the new additions that you guys made to your defense, who's somebody that the people watching can really zone in and pay attention to this afternoon?
Man, we got so many. That's such a tough question for you to ask right now. But on the defensive side, man, humbly speaking, I really want to say you guys look out for me. But my teammate, number 0, CJ Tillman, he's at outside linebacker today. He's going to make a lot of plays. And then on the offensive side, you guys watch out for number 9, Sincere Brown. He's going to make some contested catches, and he's going to score some points today for us.
Well, Isaiah,
awesome.
Best of luck. Thanks for the time, man.
Thank you so much.
And that was Isaiah Green. You know, I want to say thank you to Campbell for letting their player come on our pregame show. That's the first time it's happened for an away opponent. Awesome stuff.
Yeah. Humbly speaking, you need to be looking out for me.
I like
love
it. Why not? He's ready to go. He is ready to go. Love to see it. And again, we talked about Quentin Reese having to be an anchor when it comes to the leadership department. He's going to have to be that same guy, too.
And there's no doubt, and that's the confidence that you want out of a defender.
Oh, yeah,
like, that, to me, is like vintage DB right there. Hey, I want to shut your number one guy down. Like, put the pressure on me. I loved hearing that. That fired me up.
No, and the thing is, and we know that's what they plan on doing. They're worried about Liberty University's backfield. They know they're going to load up the tackle box, and it's going to cause a man-on-man type of situation on the outside. And those guys better be ready because the ball's coming.
That's right. Hey, we are excited to break out a new segment this year, exclusive to Flame Central Game Day. Emily Austin's going to sit down with a player leading up to game week, talk about them, see what makes them tick. Week 1, it's Bryland Green, the Louisiana boy, meets up with Emily Austin.
So grateful for the opportunity to sit down with one of the best players on Liberty's defense, returning safety, Bryland Green. Bryland, my first question to you, Louisiana guy.
Louisiana.
Where's our gumbo?
Man, see, my parents are coming this weekend, so
there's still time.
We may have some coming this weekend.
Is that a good pregame meal? I don't know. Probably.
I mean, it's probably a little too hot for that, but, you know, anything goes.
Anything goes for some gumbo. Year 2 with this staff, how much more comfortable do you feel? And what's different about this defense?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel so much more confident, you know, going into year 2 with them. You know, they've taught me so much stuff ever since they've been here. You know, me growing as a player, you know, was very, you know, mentally hard. Being that, you know, we run a different defense than we did my freshman year. So, you know, coming in year 2, being under their, you know, coaching staff for second year, it's a smooth transition, you know. The things that we've implemented in our defense this year is, you know, going to be a little bit different than last year. Obviously, it's going to be a new identity with the people that we have. So, you know, just making sure that all the pieces are, you know, doing what they got to do.
And I heard a lot of added depth. How much does that help you in terms of not getting tired out there and knowing that there's another guy that you can rely on?
Yeah, you know, obviously, you know, last year, Brandon and Q and me, myself, you know, we played like 60, 70 snaps a game. So knowing that they have people behind us, just in my position, knowing that they have people behind us to, you know, go out there and do as many snaps as I can, you know, we'll all be fresh at the end of the day. And by the time the end of the season comes, we won't be all banged up, you know, and won't be able to go as far as we want to.
Going up against an elite quarterback in Caden Salter each and every day in practice, how much has that helped this defense grow throughout fall camp?
Yeah, I think, one, it gives us confidence going into each week, being that K. Salt is one of the premier quarterbacks in the country. You know, there's not too many guys like him, obviously giving us that confidence, but also, you know, just seeing different things that he does. I think it also gives the offense confidence as well. And I think he's just somebody that we just have to, you know, be grateful that we have in our system and, you know, be ready for each and every week.
No offense, but I don't know if Flames Nation cares about all those questions about are you guys going to match your interception total from last season. What Flames Nation really cares about is are we bringing back the Joker mask? Something you wore.
Yeah, man.
Got my money bag here, too. Don't forget about the money bag.
Yeah, we do. Money bag is very important. I'm here to say...
You got to put the ball in the money bag.
We don't have the water right now, but...
You didn't bring the water, Bryland?
I didn't bring the water today.
Oh, my gosh. No gumbo, no water.
Yeah, I know.
And you stuff it in the bag.
Yeah, kind of bad, but...
So it's coming back?
It's coming back.
It's coming back.
Hopefully I'm the first one to wear it before it gets all, you know, unsanitized, but... Yeah.
I did make sure when I wore it for my sideline hit last year that strength and conditioning coach Chad Scott had it extra. Had it all clean. He does a great job of that. Well... We'll see how you guys do. Best of luck against Campbell and moving forward the rest of the season. Thanks for your time, Bryland.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Great to hear from Bryland Green. And I will say this, guys. Emily Austin takes a lot of flack from everybody around her, you know what I mean? The fact that she's put that mask on twice, I feel like has to earn her some brownie points.
I need to know who her hairstylist is. Both her regular hair and the Joker mask. Yeah, that was pretty solid.
Man, we need to make sure that she's been vaccinated for a whole bunch of different things. Man, I'm concerned.
Yeah. Hey, I know, you know, you're talking about LSU already today in this game. Ever do gumbo pregame meal? Is that something that be on your radar?
Absolutely not.
No.
That would be bad for a lot of people. That's a heavy dish, a heavy meal, and just like Bryland said, it's too hot for that. The temperature's got to come down like 15, 20 degrees.
I feel you. I have an idea right on the spot. I know you'd be up for it. I just want to pitch it. It's like, let's get another one-on-one with him, not interviewing. You guys sit down with some gumbo and just kind of break it down for us Virginia people.
you would have no pushback from me.
Yeah,
you signed me up immediately for that. Yeah, undoubtedly.
But the thing is,
you a gumbo guy?
No, I'm definitely a gumbo guy. My people from Mississippi.
Okay.
We get two Louisiana guys talking, we won't be able to understand anything they're saying.
It'd be like Waterboy all over again. All right, time to get inside the numbers. Powered by Alcova Mortgage. We're talking about the D-line for Liberty this season, and specifically, I kind of want to focus in on C.J. Bazile Jr. and also T.J. Bush Jr. I know there's some other names we're going to get to in a second, but this is a D-line, I think it's fair to say, last year on most nights did not get a ton of push. I know there's some QB hurries, but this is a Liberty program that's used to names like, Jesse Lemonnier, Kennedy Charles, you had Johnson, Osagade, Clark, Chimuzuihe from a while back. They're used to a stud D lineman getting some pressure on the quarterback. Is that going to return this year, and is Bush and Bazile going to be the focus?
I'd like to think yes. We talked a little bit earlier about Coach Chad Scott. I think another year under his strength and conditioning staff, getting bigger, getting stronger. And then, of course, this was TJ's freshman year last year, and he was a freshman All-American. So I think another year, he's now played 14 games, one of which was a big-time game in the Fiesta Bowl. I certainly see him getting better this year. And then as it relates to C.J. Bazile, preseason defensive player of the year, that says enough in and of itself. So I'm excited to watch both of these guys.
Yeah, now, Bush, if you watched him last year, great motor. Every play, his hands are going, his feet are going. He was just a little young, over-pursued a couple balls. I think this time he's worked on his technique, and we're going to see him close in on a lot of plays.
All right, outside of these two gentlemen, obviously they talk about the depth on the D-line this season. Who are some other names that you want to keep an eye on? I know Hardy's a guy that you like.
Yeah, I like Jay Hardy. One, because as everyone knows, he's an Auburn transfer, so he's got that SEC talent. He's also a person that Coach Chadwell has said, hey, when he goes hard, he is an NFL prospect. He has a chance to play in the league. So he's one that I'm really excited to get to watch. And then outside of that, I think Bryson Jennings is another guy that, again, has a chance. They're going to bring waves of guys in. I'm excited to see this entire defensive line and see how they can improve on last year's performance.
No, those are the two guys I had as well. Not to be piggybacking off. I promise you, I'm not cheating and looking on your sheet because you got a whole bunch of little stuff over there. But those are the guys that we have.
Recipe. It's my gumbo recipe.
It looks like it. It looks like it. But we saw a lack of depth during the Fiesta Bowl. I don't want to flash back into last year, but I think that's where we saw the real separation. Was where we were lacking that depth at the D-line space. I don't think that's the challenge this year. And so, I'm looking forward to seeing that rotation come in to keep guys fresh. But in that rotation, us being able to good look at a couple of different guys to come in and to be able to show us what they can do.
Depth as a whole, and that's a great point that you just touched on. How long does it take to get to that area? How many years does it take building your program to get enough depth where you feel confident going in against a P5 team like an Oregon and being able to compete for a full game?
I think that was different before the transfer portal. When we thought that, I got a guy, I got about 2 or 3 years to develop this guy in order to do it. And so now you have to be more intentional about the combinations of people that you put together when you have them out there so they feel comfortable in being able to do what they do best. And if you do it right, you need to see results within a season. And so there's no time to wait. Right now this year, we need to see what Liberty University's D-line can do this year.
Walter hit the nail on the head. The first example that came to mind was Coach Prime of Colorado, just using the transfer portal to bring in 50, 60 guys. It's a totally different game now. So you really can do a roster overhaul in 1 or 2 seasons. So, and I think you're exactly right. You got to start producing, and it's got to be this year.
Well, depth in the D-line, 2 areas that coach of Campbell, Braxton Harris, is going to have to keep an eye on. He's standing by with Emily Austin.
Here with Coach Harris. Coach, pre-game, I see you standing here on the field. What's going through your mind as a first-year head coach here at Campbell?
Yeah, just excited for the opportunity. I mean, it's a gorgeous place with great facilities. They do things the right way. Anytime you can associate yourself and be in that arena, that's what you want to be. And so just really thankful for the opportunity that we get, our path to get here, and then we're just looking back on what we've been able to accomplish and excited to see what the future holds.
What are you hoping? What are you expecting to see from your group here tonight?
Yeah, I'm expecting to see a group that starts fast and finishes stronger in that piece. And that's one of the things we've talked about. And we talked about all week that we've got to be locked into what we're trying to get done. It's about us and it's about what we do. Game ones of year ones are always a little anxious to understand what's coming up and how we're going to respond to those. But we really want to see our guys respond and not react tonight.
Your starting quarterback, Chad Masco, he is doubling his start total in his collegiate starts today. What has he been nervous? What has his vibe been like leading up to this first game?
Well, I think he's really well prepared for this. He's seen it before. He's gotten to do it the right way where he's not had to be in those spots, and now he's ready for that opportunity. I think he's excited to be able to lead a football team on the field, to be the guy. That's why you come to college, to be a quarterback, to be the guy, and to play in arenas and environments just like this. And so I think he's excited for the opportunity. All he's got to do is be him.
Great. Awesome. Thanks for your time, Coach. Best of luck here tonight.
Thanks so much.
Nissan matchup spotlight, and he was just talking about quarterback Chad Masco Jr. Again, not overly experienced. It's a tough first game to come into in this environment. What does he need to do today to be successful?
Well, according to his offensive coordinator, just be even-keeled. You know, come out here, don't let the lights get too bright for you. Do what we've coached you to do. Keep making those positive strides and get the ball out to your guys that can make plays.
Protect the ball.
Yeah.
That rule number one, protect the ball. If you're not turning it over, we have a chance. If I'm coaching, I'm talking into ear, relax, pay attention to your first, your second read. If it's not there, tuck it, get what you can. No negative yards. Protect the line of scrimmage and protect the ball.
On the other side of things, he's going up against a quarterback that if there is a watch list that has to do with throwing a ball, Caden Salter is on it. You see that? The Manning, Johnny Unitas,
Look at that.
Maxwell, Walter Camp. Caden Salter comes into this season as a lot of people saying the best G5 quarterback there is in the nation this year. That leaves me to ask, what is there left to prove for Caden Salter?
Consistency.
Yeah.
You know, last season he completed about 60% of his passes. He missed a lot of easy throws. He held the ball longer than he needed to at times and still put up historic numbers. But the consistency is the next step in the game. Like, you can't be great one play and then not great the next. So just establishing consistency, being the same guy, play in and play out, that's going to take him to that next level.
Yeah, can he get the ball out of his hand quick? And can he do it again?
Right. When you look at him, though, and obviously there's a lot of success, right? Like, and he's going to notice that, and he's going to come in. He knows he's a terrific athlete. I'm sure there's that belief in him that, hey, I can make something happen on every single play. How difficult is it for a coach to keep a young man disciplined within their own game when they have that belief in themselves?
Hey, Walter, I don't know what your thoughts are. I think it's tremendously difficult, and I use a recent example of Malik Willis. Sometimes he was his own worst enemy because he was the best athlete on the field and could keep plays alive. Sometimes he should have just thrown it away, or you take the short loss on plays. So sometimes you can be your own worst enemy when you're that freak of an athlete. And I don't know because I was never that freak of an athlete.
Yeah, no, I think the number one thing is what you have to think about is you have to protect their confidence. You know, I'd rather you be overly confident than not enough. And so it's that juggle, it's that discernment of being a great coach, of being able to feel a guy where he is in the week, but at the same time, you got to protect that confidence at all costs.
Were you that confident, Walter?
No.
QB? No?
No.
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
No.
You got that drip?
No.
You just
no.
like.
Now, I was always clean, but I was always aware of what was up against me. And so, yeah, no. But high confidence guy, when you talk to him, you feel it on him. He really believes that he's always just one play away from a deep ball that's going to go all the way.
Well, protecting that confidence, tasked with that is Jamey Chadwell. He is standing by with Emily.
Coach Chadwell, much higher expectations going into your second season after such a historic season last year. How do you think you and your players have managed and handled the expectations and added pressure so far?
Well, we have to remember why we play. You know, we're playing for each other, not playing for anything outside. And we've worked hard over the last since the summer months of just making sure we're focused on us, you know, and when we know those expectations are there, we're pursuing those, right? But our end goal is we're playing for each other and to make sure that these guys lay it on the field for each other.
Do you feel any different, more comfortable doing this? You know, looking back to last year when you did this walk for the first time?
Anytime you do it for the second time through, obviously there's a comfort zone, but I don't know as a coach if you can ever feel like you're comfortable, maybe more relaxed, but I don't know if I'd say I'm comfortable.
Every year with the transfer portal, teams look so different. What makes you confident and excited about this particular group?
Well, I think they've came in and they definitely have embraced the way we want to do things. They wanted to be here, which is a positive. Anytime you want somebody to want to be here, that's a big deal for us, and I'm thankful for that. And our guys that were already here brought them in welcome with open arms, and I think we've got a really good group that's meshed together.
Well, the road to another undefeated regular season starts here today. Best of luck to you.
Appreciate you. Flames.
Flames.
Thank you, Emily. You see the face of Coach Chadwell there. I don't think he liked that road to the next undefeated season. It's like, thanks, right off the bat here. Game one, give us some pressure. All right, we now go up into the booth. Joining us now, Matt Warner, Joe Young. You know, before we get into the X's and O's here of the secondary, Joe, I've heard rumors that along with the Joker mask, the secondary now is bringing out your flamethrower on the sideline, lighting it up for every interception.
You know, there's possible truth to that. We're going through a legal department right now in order to make that real. There's a lot of licensing issues happening right now, but we definitely got to get the flamethrower on the sideline.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for that. Any chance he can to promote himself, you know that's going to happen. All right, Ray,
Go ahead. No, before you get started, on College Game Day today, they had Dabo Swinney on, and he said to Nick Saban, he said, Nick, what do we got to do to get you in a Pat McAfee tank top?
Right.
Okay, I say this. What does Flames Central have to do to get Walter Virgil in a tank top?
Yeah. We'll work on that.
We want to see that.
We do? Do we? Okay, I don't know.
Push those guns.
You got the guns, right?
Yeah.
Listen, we can negotiate that. We can negotiate that on the back.
We'll figure that out. All right, let's get down to business. Enough of this.
Please.
You talked about the defensive backs, Rhett. 21 interceptions from this Liberty defense a season ago. Led the country. Joe, we've talked about, they lose some guys, Kobe Singleton, Preston Hodge. 21 interceptions. Is that something you can replicate, or did everything just break right a season ago?
Yeah, I mean, turnovers are tough. Sometimes they come, sometimes they go. But I think overall defensively, are they capable of doing it? Will they be better? Yes, they can be. They can be much better. And the reason, first and foremost, being better, they've got more depth in the front seven. Yeah. And when you have depth in the front seven, I heard Walter talking about that. That lack of depth last year sort of exposed itself in the bowl game. But when you can have some depth in the front seven, you get after the quarterback and you're able to hurry up a quarterback, lessen that time on the back end, I think this defense is going to show a major improvement over last year.
And it also doesn't hurt having a ball hawk back there like Bryland Green, who I know you think really highly of.
Yeah, I mean, Bryland Green, the All-American safety, is just, there's guys who just have a natural knack to know where the ball's going, and they just happen to always be around the ball. He is one of those guys. So Bryland Green, Quentin Reese is back. The two question marks are really at that corner position.
Yeah.
Mo Williams, how much play will he get? Then you got Dexter Ricks. You got, so it's like you've got all these different guys. Charles Yates will probably get the start tonight. So you've got them different guys. They got to figure out that position. I think you're probably going to see 4 or 5 guys play. Yeah. The other thing, too, that I think is important to understand is they've got a lot more practice time under their belt this year. And so when you talk to the defensive coaches, that allows them to do so much more. They don't have to be vanilla, yet have a lot of different calls in, but still have the ability to play freely.
Should be fun. And I'll say this as well. They had Johnny Manziel as the celebrity guy on game day this morning. I'll take Shaun Alexander over Johnny Football all day long. This is the first time we've ever had someone on set that Pat Kelly had to admit was a better athlete than he was. First time.
That's valid. That's absolutely valid. One thought before we go here. Joe's got the green pants, the tank top in green.
Right now?
Out Cobra
Not right
Mortgage.
now.
No, not right now. I wouldn't put it past them, though. That's the honest truth. But, hey, guys, thanks. Enjoy the game today.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, hey, still a lot more to come on Flame Central Game Day. We break down our Segra Impact players, hear from Chris Vanini of The Athletic, and give you our keys to the game.
Becoming a champion. It's more than one individual's journey. It's about those who came before you and those who will follow you. But most importantly, it's about the team beside you. The ones to mentor you, support you, and cheer you on in all your endeavors. These are the ones that make a champion. So no matter where you go and who you become, We all need a team like Liberty University.
After the final whistle has blown, join us for the Flames Central Game Day post-game show. We'll bring you the highlights, analyze the impact players, break down the stats, and hear from the Flames. Don't miss out on the post-game analysis that only Flames Central Game Day can provide. Join the Flames Central Game Day post-game show, only on the Liberty Flames social media. Flames Central Game Day. It's all about the Flames.
We welcome you back to Williams Stadium. Just under 30 minutes till opening kickoff here at the Bill. Hey, we wanted to tell you about our game of the week coming up tomorrow. Liberty men's soccer taking on Georgia State. And that game set to go at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Well, hey, he's loved, he's hated, and hated some more by Liberty fans. Chris Vanini joins us again this year in our Conference USA Outlook.
New season, same great insight. That's why we're bringing back the Athletic senior writer Chris Vanini for a CUSA Outlook. Well, and because he loves dogs almost as much as me. Chris, welcome back. How excited are you for this season?
I'm excited. It feels like we just were doing this the other day. I'm looking forward to college football across the country, and now we have a 12-team playoff, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
If anything is like week 0, it should be some exciting stuff. One of the big changes this year is the college football playoff. Let's get straight to the point in week 1 and make some predictions. Who is your group of 5 team making it?
I'm going with Boise State. They finished last year really strong. They won the Mountain West, bring a lot back. I like their offensive coordinator hire. And they've got a schedule that could help them if they get some important wins along the way. I really think this is wide open. I mean, I think as many as 5 or 6 teams preseason could end up getting the spot. It's going to be really close, and it's going to be really contentious. But I'm going to go with Boise State right now.
It'll be interesting to follow along this season. All right, focusing more on Conference USA. Liberty gets a lot of heat for its strength of schedule. When you look at CUSA this season, has it improved at all?
Well, it's interesting because, New Mexico State and Jacksonville State last year were much better than expected. They'll probably take a little bit of a step back, especially New Mexico State. But I think the bottom of the league should be a bit better. I think Sam Houston should be better. We got some changes at Middle Tennessee. So it's hard to say, but I do think Liberty remains the overwhelming favorite in this league.
Yeah, picked to finish first in the CUSA preseason rankings, followed by Western Kentucky and Jack State. Do you agree with those rankings, and who do you see in that championship game?
Yeah, I think Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State right in that 2 to 3 spot. Western Kentucky's got TJ Finley, the quarterback, who comes from Texas State, really good player. Jacksonville State replaces a lot, but Rich Rodriguez is a really good coach, and they got some good players there as well. They made that FBS transition really easily. So I think I would go with Western Kentucky at number 2 to play Liberty in the championship game. But I predicted that last year, and Western Kentucky didn't end up making it. So the Hilltoppers have to bounce back.
That being said, who is your CUSA sleeper this season?
I'm going to keep an eye on Sam Houston. They started last year, I think, 0-8, but they lost so many games by 1 score. I think they were a play away from beating Liberty even. And then they won 3 of their last 4 games, got some momentum, bring a lot back. So I think Sam Houston should be much tougher this season and turn those close losses into close wins, and then you got something to work with.
Bringing it back to the defending champions, Caden Salter put up insane numbers last season. What does he need to do to be in that Heisman conversation? And Chris, be honest, is this even realistic to ask?
It is going to be extremely difficult for any group of 5 player to win the Heisman, but I do think the 12-team playoff is putting more of a spotlight on the group of 5. So if a player does shine and does stand out, maybe they get more attention, because usually the Heisman is often going to the best player one of the best teams, and you're only thinking about the top 5 teams or so.
Right.
Now you can think about a lot more. I do think the way the Fiesta Bowl went is probably going to hurt not only Liberty's perception as a team, but Caden Salter's Heisman chances as well. But, you know, year 2, you'd expect an even bigger year from Salter. I mean, he played much better last year than I think even Jamey Chadwell expected. And so now it's about taking another step forward.
Right. Another year in this system only will show good things, hopefully. All right. Another great episode of CUSA Outlook. Thanks so much for your time. Follow along Chris Vanini on X at Chris Vanini. And you have a weekly show that's new. How do we watch or listen?
Yeah, the Until Saturday podcast. It's the Athletics College Football podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube, you can watch it on there as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much again for your time. Look forward to catching up with you each and every Liberty home game.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Chris. I like that Bearcats pick. Jace Bauer coming in, Central Michigan Chippewa guy.
I agree. They had a lot of close games last year. We were in this end zone here when they almost knocked Liberty off on the last play of the game. I think it's a team that can turn it around.
Yep, definitely. I think we'll be in the mix for sure. All right, time to take a look now at our impact players brought to us by Segra and Isaiah Green. He spoke it into existence. CJ Tillman, we're talking about him. Team high 98 tackles last year.
Yeah, this guy's fun to watch on film. Number one, both of his coaches described him as, quote, a bull in a china shop. I don't know about you guys, but I do not like bulls in my china shop.
No.
So there's that. He's got almost 200 career tackles. He's always around the ball. Coach Harris said he's the most disruptive player he's ever coached.
He's got to have a big game tonight if it's going to count and if these guys are going to do anything special.
Yeah, I think he and Quentin Cooley are going to meet in a gap sooner or later, head-to-head. I'm excited to see that.
That's what I'm looking for.
As we continue on, VJ Wilkins, wide out. Kind of a guy they like to use right there in the flats.
Yeah, freshman All-American last year. Offensive coordinator described him as his best trait is his start and stop ability. He can make guys miss in space. I'm excited to watch him, whether it's on jet sweeps, bubble screens, tunnel screens. I think he could give Liberty some issues tonight just with how shifty he is.
They want to get him in space, get him the ball quick so that he can create space for himself, and they realize and they think that he can potentially take it to the crib at any given moment.
Yeah, he's definitely fleet of foot and as slippery as you can see throughout these highlights. Now we turn our attention, Liberty. Jordan White, originally expected to be the starting center this year. Injuries have occurred. He's now being moved to left guard.
Yeah, what I think this says is just how versatile this guy is. He can go from playing center basically his entire career, playing 70-plus snaps a game last year, move him over to left guard because he can get the job done, and help the new center, Aaron Finnemore, coming in.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, Walt. How important is he going to be for Finnemore today?
With this guy is cerebral. He's always thinking he'll be able to help him out with being able to make the right adjustments.
And here is Quentin Cooley, no introduction needed.
Yeah. I mean, this dude is absolutely a freak. 1,400 yards last year, 16 touchdowns. He really is the what is it? The straw that stirs the drink. I mean, he gets this offense going.
Yeah.
Took a minute to get there.
Brother, he's the impact player because EA Sports said so.
Oh, okay. He is. You know what? I played against him in EA Sports. I did. People are going to get mad at me. I went against Liberty. Cooley ate me up in that game. It was miserable. But Quentin, terrific year last year. Excited to see what he can do again this season. And when you look at the three-headed monster that there is for Liberty running game, led by Quentin Cooley, it's going to be very difficult to stop.
Very, very difficult, especially if Salter's making the right choices, keeping those guys unbalanced. That's going to be the key to this offense, keeping the defense guessing what's coming next and just keeping them guessing wrong and on the wrong foot and just plowing directly over these guys.
Yeah. Well, hey, every sack is a sack to give back this season. Food Lion Feeds will donate 1,000 meals to a neighbor in need for each Liberty sack this season. In 2023, Liberty 25 sacks, their lowest total since 2017, expected to break that number this season. All right, coming up, a lot more to come. We'll take a look at a couple sleepers maybe on the Liberty radar and our keys to the game.
Jumping grab, light them up. Touchdown, Liberty.
Second down and 9. To the pocket, throws it towards the end zone. To the 10, to the 10, to the 5, stretches pylon.
Everyone who's ever believed in these times of fame get a chance to shine. Embrace the vision. Roar of the crowd. Strike the stone.
This is my time. I'm on the rise. Can't hold me down. I'm too fly. This is my time. Ready to shine. Brighter than all of the lights. 'Cause when it's game time, seconds away.
Nope.
You don't have to play sports to enjoy them. Get tickets on the Liberty Flames app or at liberty.edu/tickets.
Tucked away in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Lynchburg, Virginia, you'll find us, Liberty University. Here, we pursue excellence in all of our academic endeavors, from anywhere. We fight for victory in our athletic programs and fan the flames with a mighty roar. We equip students with a Christ-centered perspective that changes lives. We are creators, problem solvers, and world changers. But above all of this, we are champions for Christ.
I'm going to say there, buddy, not wanting to jump off the high dive in that commercial. I've jumped off of it. And you know
right.
Me, like, I did.
Right.
I did. Lots of gravity pulling me down. I'm just going to say there is some mass here. I get why he did not want to do that. All right. Hey,
great commercial.
Let's take a look at some Liberty sleepers here as we're about 10 minutes away from kickoff. Reese Smith, tiny little guy, West Virginia transfer. I'm expecting at least. I like this pick from you, Pat.
Yeah,
I'm expecting some big things.
No, I am too. And whether that's tonight or throughout the season, you know, we've got a receiving core that is getting replacing a lot of talent. He's a really good route runner, has terrific body control. He's also able to make a lot of contested catches despite being 5'10". I'm excited once he's out there on the field to see how he does.
And then for you, Walter, Q mentioned him earlier. That's Taylor Jackson, the linebacker coming in from Eastern Carolina.
Southeast DC's finest, H.D. Woodson High School. A whole bunch of my boys went there. This guy just has a way of finding his way to the ball and finishing the deal. I'm really looking forward to seeing him make his Liberty debut and to see him find his way to the ball and potentially knock something loose. I mean, this guy is really special.
Yeah, I think with him as well, Liberty, in all honesty, when you look at that linebacker position, we've talked about the bodies that have moved on and now basically a new unit has come in as a position group. They need him to be special.
Oh, he has to be. He has to be.
Yeah. All right, time now for our keys to the game. And I feel like when I was looking at these, Pat, that there's like a soup theme here. Campbell soup. I hope you get it at home.
Yeah, guys, listen, I went all this time thinking that it was the Campbell soups, not the Campbell Camels. So, the keys for Campbell today, we're going totally Campbell soup related. Yeah. So the first one that we've got here is we're going condensed soup.
Yes.
Campbell's got to condense this game. They have to win the time of possession. They've got to shorten the time that Liberty's on the field, and they've got to really milk that clock. Last year, they were able to stay on the field for a long time. They're going to have to do that tonight if they have any chance to win. Number two, we're talking chunky soup here. Yes. We're going to go offense and defense, but in terms of the chunky soup, Campbell's offensive line averages 305 pounds across the board. They got to lean on those big boys, lean on those chunky boys in the trenches to establish the run. And then the last one from a defensive perspective, chunky plays here. They cannot give up chunk plays to this Liberty team. Liberty last year finished #1 in the country in rushing yards or rushing plays of 10, 20, and 30 yards. They can't give up these big plays if they want to have a chance.
I was going to say number 3, only Campbell soup. I remember you said don't make any mistakes, and I didn't want them buying off brand.
Well, I just need to know if there's any marketing opportunity here and they're not taking advantage of it. What are we doing, guys?
NIL for Pat Kelly. All right, Walter, Liberty's keys.
All right, listen, today we know that Liberty University has their work cut out for them, can't take their opponents lightly. And so number 1, dominate the line of scrimmage. Offensive line, they have to get the day started, walking in unison with each other, stepping downfield together, double teaming up to the next level, making things happen. Number 2, attack that quarterback. This is this guy's biggest debut, biggest stage. You want to hit him. You want to hit him early. You want to keep him off his mark, keep him uncomfortable, and that's going to spell the potential for a lot of turnovers. And number 3, only Liberty can beat Liberty. Right now, their focus is they have to protect the ball. They have to keep the things right in front of them and continue to execute and not get carried off course and trying to do anything special or extra.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Again, kickoff coming up at 6 p.m. on ESPN+. Make sure you tune in. We'll be there for halftime on ESPN+ as well. Matt Warner, Joe Yock with the call. We'll see you right here for the post-game show following the game.